Hi, Deadlock's here again with part 2 of the DEF CON cuff talk and everything that went wrong. Roll the first clip.
Cool to just reach in there and just try to press down on the paw.
Don't do this with really nice picks you just bought, let's say, because sometimes it'll trash the pick up pretty good. We'll often see us, we'll grab paper clips or safety pins. Those kind of things. How many people have ever hated lock picking in the movies? Like when someone doesn't have a tensioner, they're like, oh, look, the door fell open, and it's all fake. The cuffs, actually, sometimes in the movies, it is kind of like that. It's just, a little shitty piece of metal. Yeah, destroying the pick, that's all right. A little thin piece of metal in the right place. You're just trying to catch a simple paw lever. Remember, notice how big the bit is on the end of a typical handcuff key. It doesn't have a lot of huge reach down into the cuff. You're just trying to reach just barely inside the keyway, and you should be able to trip that lever.
Another really common tool, you can use a lot of common things like bobby pins, paper clips, and other stuff to pick pick handcuff locks, even the standard ones or some of the higher end ones. But I don't know if you guys ever seen the binder clips. You can get staples where you can pinch the two pieces and then you flip it around and you clip on paper. Well, there's one particular size that works awesome, and you can pinch it and release that little silver piece, bend it open, and it makes an awesome handcuff key. So,
okay, so we have another epic piece of demonstrating from that crew. Now, I know I sped that up. You might have missed a few things. They were doing a demonstration of picking some handcuffs that went on for like a minute, and they swapped to a second set of handcuffs, and then they swapped to a different picker, and then Deviant still took about 20 seconds to pick those handcuffs. Now the handcuffs in question were Valor handcuffs, and I've never come across them before, but they do mention that they're quite thin, which makes me think cheap and Taiwanese. So probably very similar to these Uzis and Vipertech, and we know they're not really proper cuffs, and that keyway you could drive a truck into. Now, how long do you think it's going to take me to pick these open, Mrs. D?
Knowing you, very little time.
Very little time at all. Well, I haven't practiced up. I don't think I've even picked these for years, but what's the problem? Like, really, what's the problem?
Problem is not enough practice.
I didn't practice.
Okay, not enough skills.
Yeah, I'm going with that one. But to be fair, the description of how to do it and everything, and how they work, was actually pretty spot on. So there's good information there, but they should have maybe, practiced picking a cuff a little bit before they went and done this whole big talk. Okay, this next clip, I've always been kind of curious as to how you would get a key stuck between the paws. It just never seemed possible to me.
Like this chang in this video especially, those triple pawls, when there's a lot of slop in there. Can you guys see this? This is a universal key trying to operate the chang, and it's catching some of the pawls, but not all of them at different times. So some go down, others don't. So it's probably not going to release these. And sometimes it can even, it'll slip like in between the pawls or slip on, and then it'll like eat the key. That happens.
But we have actually had someone pull a set apart and show us. The link to the video will be in the description. But here's a picture. But yeah, the key is actually stuck between the pawls and the double lock, not stuck between the pawls, which makes a lot more sense. Anyway.
So we mentioned that just because you have multiple paws makes it harder to pick, but doesn't necessarily make it harder to shim. Well, the Yule handcuffs, they went completely crazy with this design. They basically put a metal blade in between the shim, so you would need a split shim to get in there. They went even further. They have these flanges that crimp over, and these ridges. So even if you had a multi-tipped shim, those flanges will direct the tips of those shims against a ridge or an edge. The shim you stick in there will never reach those paws.
So apparently with the Yules, even if you have a split shim, it will never get anywhere near the paws. Apparently. We're going to test that though. The shim protection is very good, but you are also very good had it momentarily.
Then you dropped it.
And I dropped it.
Because you were a dropper.
There we go. So yeah, not easy. But
You say not easy, but you just did it in like a couple of seconds.
can be done. It wasn't easy though. If it was easy, I would have been out a lot quicker. Okay, and now we're on to our final clip. I know I've missed out a few things that they got wrong and didn't go particularly well, but they weren't interesting enough for us to go for it. So,
boring!
Yeah, I left them all. There is some stuff I left alone. But I'm going to finish off on another failed demonstration. And that's this one.
You love a fail.
I'm gonna maybe try it, I don't know. If we can try.
What do these cups cost you?
Oh, I don't want to think about it, man. I've broken a few of these when I've broken a few before. If you can keep trying to twist them around, they're almost in a spot. No. What I did, like in baking shows, they're like, here's one I made earlier. What guys will do, if you go to the sear pick table, these diamond saw blades, these like little diamond file here, if you go inside the chains and you rough up the chains, you can sometimes get them to bind up on themselves. And I'd really like, maybe if I can do it in one hand. Let me try one-handed here. You're picking out on one side. It's like, I don't want to sit here twisting them all day. All right. So the idea is to get the chain up on itself. If you can get the chain up on itself and not let it twist around any further, I can just kind of manually swing it into position almost. I don't know if it's gonna go. I don't think it's gonna go. Want to keep talking while I just keep trying to fuck with this over here?
If we've got a quick second, would you want? Sorry,
Okay, I got it twist around, and if I really don't want to hurt my wrist here.
Oh, okay. I'll admit, it wasn't really that much of a failed demonstration. He did snap the cuffs. But he spent ages trying to get the cuffs to bind, and then took the cuff off, carried on trying to get them to bind, and only actually had one cuff on when he snapped them. I am not going to snap a set of my cuffs. I'm not doing that. I have none that I want to get rid of. But I will try and bind up the chain on some, just to see if it is actually hard.
If you break them, you are not getting any more. This is your only warning.
These chain links. Oh, there we go. Bound them up. That's how long it took me. Anyway, that is the lot. Or the lot that I'm actually going to do. Has anyone got any suggestions of who to look at next time?
I have some.
That's all from us. See you next time.
Bye.